Yo, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another In the OT podcast for BetHubb Sports Blog.com. As today we pick up right where we left off yesterday, breaking down the conference championships in the 2012 NBA playoffs. It was all about the Western Conference yesterday as I gave you guys 100 different reasons as to why I liked San Antonio to knock off Oklahoma City. Today we shift gears over to the Eastern Conference where we have the Miami Heat taking on the Boston Celtics, and I will be once again going with the favorite here and with good reason because I do believe that what we saw from Wade and LeBron in those final three games closing out the Pacers is something that we can expect to see moving forward here in this series. I'm not so sure about the finals. We'll deal with that when it actually happens, if it does. But I believe here that Boston had an opportunity maybe to be somewhat live to win this series. Were they able to close out Philadelphia in 5 or 6 games and give themselves a little bit more rest and Doc Rivers some more time to maybe schematically plan against these two outstanding players, Wade and LeBron, which he's had a little bit of success with in the past, but that's when they were individually on their own teams, not when they've been together. We saw what happened in last year's second round series where Miami just absolutely steamrolled them. And do you think Boston's a better team this year than they were last year? They're probably about the same, and so is Miami. So from that perspective, where do you think this massive improvement's coming from Boston? I don't see it happening. And on top of that, you just look at the way Boston played against Philadelphia. I mean, come on. They went on way too many stretches where they just were not able to score. They were not able to get easy baskets. And when you go up against a defensive juggernaut like Miami, when you see the way LeBron and Wade are playing help defense, Joel Anthony and Haslam down low in the paint, they are not going to get any easy looks whatsoever. Rajon Rondo, yes, he's the little engine that could, but we know that he's not the greatest pure scorer. They're going to let him shoot from the outside and dare him to and make it difficult for him to get into the paint with those little scoops and hook shots and whatever he does down low there with his crazy plays. So if that's the case, Miami's going to have a lot easier time getting baskets in this series because of the single isolation they can rely on with Wade and LeBron. And, you look at someone like Paul Pierce, who's still, in my opinion, the best scorer on this Boston Celtic team, but he's going to have such a defensive responsibility on those two big that it's going to take so much out of him that how much is he really going to have left to offer on the offensive side of things. KG's knocking down the mid-range jumper. He's been playing pretty good. I'll give him that. Same thing with Brandon Bass. So those are going to be the key cogs if Boston's going to have any chance. Should Bosch come back, he should be able to contain them. He's a bit younger, fresher, and still a little bit more athletic. And you look at, like I said, Haslam, Joel Anthony playing down there. They should be able to contain them a little bit. Philadelphia didn't really have a lot of size, and it's not like they were able to exploit them. So why would you see that being the case here? And then when you look at the fact that this team here generally, I don't know, they didn't seem to play great basketball, not consistent enough. They had some real stinkers and they blew big leads, and I don't know, I just don't get the sense that Boston is going to be able to hang around long term in this series. They might win a game here and there, keep it close earlier on, but as time goes on, Miami should be able to pull away. I'd be shocked if they lost more than one game on their home court. Miami can definitely steal one down in Boston. And then another key thing here, I believe, is the fact that Ray Allen just is not 100% healthy, and that is going to hurt them from an offensive standpoint of not having a sharp shooter from the outside. And then that's going to force them to maybe throw the ball more into the paint or rely on the isolation offensive sets that won't be as easy to come by. Not having Avery Bradley, they don't have a ton of depth off the bench. If anything, you look at Miami and they don't have great depth, but it's almost like they've got a little bit more. Shane Battier, the defensive specialist. Chalmers is playing a little bit better. He can somewhat play around with Rondo in terms of regulating him and keeping him under control. He can definitely shoot better from the outside. Mike Miller's shooting better. I just talked about Haslam ad nauseum. So I think that the one advantage Boston may have had in the past is with depth, which they don't have here. So give me the superior basketball team to win this series in 6 games. That is the Miami Heat. We can't really factor in Chris Bosh at this standpoint. If he was there, I would pretty much guarantee it. Without him, you never know. I mean, Boston could definitely step up, and if Miami does choke late in games like we've seen a little bit in the finals against Dallas last year, they could definitely lose. But what I saw there with Wade and LeBron, it was just beast mode against Indiana, who's a little bit more complete and a deeper team. And if they could do that against them, and Boston could barely beat Philadelphia and blow all these leads, I just don't see it happening here against the Miami Heat. So that's my conclusion and the way this series is going to play out. Chad here with another In the OT podcast, BetHubbSportsBlog.com. Miami Heat in 6 games. We'll see you guys in the finals. Peace out.